Why don't autistic people like hugs? First of all, that's a myth. I've just obviously got to do the clicky title, so excuse that. We've all got to get to 4K subscribers somehow. But there are several factors that being on the autistic spectrum can impact the ability to hug, I suppose. Also, this quiff, what's going on? It's like 2012 all over again. I actually filmed this video yesterday, I edited it fully, and then I watched it back and I was like, I've literally missed half the points. So, well done me, good vlogger there. It's not like I've been doing this for nearly, what, three years, is that it? Let's start off with kind of like my history of hugging. We could talk about physical affection as a whole, but I think if we focus on hugging, when I was younger, to what will probably be many people's surprise watching this, I was fine with being hugged and stuff. I actually, you know, well, I don't know if I was fine with it. It just happened a lot. I wasn't diagnosed then. So I think I was just treated like any other kid. I definitely didn't have a problem with being touched by people I knew because, like, you know, I'd be the one play fighting with my friends all the time. Towards the end of primary school, I don't think hugs were really a thing because it's not cute little kids hugging anymore. It's like, you know, it's starting to get a bit like, oh, so just people just don't hug, and it's kind of the same for the first couple of years of secondary school. But and then as soon as, you know, you've all started going through puberty, you're all a lot more confident in ourselves, and society had changed by that point too, because male hugging wasn't really a thing, which is strange, isn't it? But anyway, so that started to happen a lot more. You know, you definitely would find yourself hugging a lot more people, and that's when I started to notice that I wasn't okay with everyone who hugged me. Like, I did it just to be polite, but when people hugged me, I had one of two reactions. Like, one reaction would be that I'd have a comforting, warm feeling, because of course that's what it's meant to be. That's what a hug's meant to give off. It's a feeling of affection. But and then when some people would hug me, I would just feel like not hatred towards them. That's not at all, because these people could be people I liked, but discomfort. And the more I dissect that now, I know it was very much a physical discomfort, which echoed into an emotional discomfort as well. That sounds very vague, let's be more specific. There'd be people who would hug me and it would almost feel like they're itching my skin. Like, even though they're not, they're just touching my skin, but it'd feel like an itch, maybe. Anyway, not a pleasant feeling. I hope that noise outside can't be heard because it's really annoying for me. But and then on the last day of year 11, this is all hypothetical, of course. Hypothetically, we all went up to the woods and all got very drunk, all 200 plus of us. Alcohol does seem to be popping up a lot, doesn't it? Oh dear. But in that state, I realised that, of course, because people are drunk, they're a lot more affectionate than they normally are, and people were hugging me, and there were people hugging me, and I didn't feel any discomfort from anyone. And I think I hypothetically made it my mission that night to hug every single person. I think I achieved that. Even people I've only had one conversation with ever, because, you know, 200 plus people. There's a lot of people in our year. Some people in the other half never really encountered. But no, I think I hugged just about everyone. But then as soon as I was sober again, I felt the same feelings of discomfort and stuff. You know, the same things continued in sixth form, and then it entered what I call the dark age, when I'd left sixth form, and in all honesty, I didn't need to receive hugs from anyone because there just weren't many going on. There wasn't much affection at all. You know, obviously they'd continue with my family occasionally, like, let's face it, nothing beats a mummy cuddle, and I have no shame in saying that. There's probably a lot of you watching this that are like, yeah, fair dues. Then towards the end of that period is when I started work, and you don't really hug people in the workplace. There was the occasional handshake and stuff. During the second job I had, that's when I started to find out, like, that was when the diagnosis process started for me. So autism was very much on my mind. It became obvious straight away that I was autistic, and I saw the myth, autistic people don't like hugs. So I just thought, okay, maybe if I put that out into the world, that I don't like hugs, I'm not going to have random people hug me, and I'm not going to get that discomfort caused to me. You know, so I didn't really have anyone new hugging me, so I didn't have to go through that awkward moment. And then I attended Summer in the City for the first time, and bear in mind I've not hugged anyone new in ages. If anyone knows the YouTube world, it's very huggy. I've definitely experienced that last week, we'll get to that. And let's just say, the first person that tried to hug me nearly got punched. It's all good, you know, we've made up for it now with probably most hugs I've ever had with someone, but still, that's clearly my reaction to, like, not liking hugs. I started to realise then, like, the more people that would hug me in life, I had a hug list. And because I've been so kind of like traumatised from that experience of Summer in the City, the amount of people that kept trying to hug me, and no, when I started making videos, I very much wanted to put it out there. I don't like hugging people, get away from me. if you meet me, we're not having a hug. So much so, I put that message out there in the earlier videos, that I had family members watching my earlier videos that would then come up to me the next time they saw me and go, oh, I won't give you a hug because I know you don't like them. So we've literally been hugging for the last 18 years. Like, I get you're watching my videos, but I'm doing that so strangers don't touch me. That's also the point I told my family to stop watching my videos. But the hug list became very much a part of my brand, and over time the hug list expanded. You know, there's people from school and stuff that automatically went onto it. Only select people, but over time, through doing YouTube and stuff, YouTube's probably the only time I hug people, really. There was a list. There was a definite list of people who are good to hug me, people who are not good to hug me. And that's where we are now. To kind of conclude the story of my evolution of hugs, like what happened at the end of year 11, hypothetically, Sunday night, Summer in the City, when we were all in the bar, the amount of people that I hugged drunkenly, because of course the hug list is so well known at this point, the amount of people that were like, oh my god, I'm on the hug list. I don't know if it can count if people are being added whilst I'm drunk, because I just don't think I have the feeling, so I don't know. But let's bring it back to autism as a whole, not just me. The reasons behind hugging, and I've looked into this, I've done research, I've asked people. We can look at the sensitivity side first of all. Like I said about touch, I know that the types of hugs I like are hard, strong, constant touch, not so like one amount of pressure, a hard amount of pressure, not a weak little thing, because a weak little thing is what makes the itching for me, I think. I call it itching, I don't think it is itching. So I clearly require more sensory input with a hug like that, and I think that's clearly a calming mechanism for me. A side which I hadn't really thought of until recently, I think there's an emotional aspect behind it, because if you think about it, a hug is quite an emotional thing. It's quite a yeah, there's a lot of emotion going on there, because it is such it's an expression of affection. And I wonder if it's a bit of an overwhelming concept for an autistic brain, because any emotional concept can throw me. These are the factors that I can kind of work out what determines people. None of these are set in stone. Please don't be offended if any of the things paint you out in a good or bad light or whatever. This is all speculation. I ultimately do not know what my own hug list consists of. I'm definitely a lot more comfortable hugging guys than girls. The thing I immediately jump to with this is the whole strong touch. The people that are on the hug list that are male are people who are strong and confident in their hugs, and you know, like that. The male hugs I don't like are this kind of thing that happens where like some guys think they're too cool to just hug, so they're like yo, that's a big no, and I'm clearly too hypersensitive for myself even. So maybe that's a factor if you're a strong, confident male. I don't know. So I don't know if the physical structure of someone is a factor in that, but there's also like the opposite to that, where I know I purposely I generally feel uncomfortable with skinny girls. I know this, I'm generalising a lot here, but it's the patterns that I notice here. And I think that's maybe because I like to go in so strong. I think there's some fear in the back of my mind, like, oh, I might break them or something. So there's that aspect of it. I think that's kind of a general physical guideline. So if perhaps there's a bit more to you, I'm more open for a hug. I don't know. But then if we look at the emotional aspect of it, I think I have to have had some emotional connection. And I think that's what it's all about in my head, maybe. So that emotional connection, I don't know what determines that either. And again, all speculation, but I think those are the factors that make me able to hug. I don't think I will ever understand why I hug people and why I don't hug people. I'm definitely not someone who initiates them that often. Although at Summer in the City, like, people, please vouch for me in the comments if well, mind you, there won't be many people who watch this that I initiated hugs with, but I initiated hugs with people, you know. So we'll go into that as in like more in the whole physical affection that I'll do as a whole physical communication. But yeah, I'm impressed with myself. I didn't expect that to happen. I'm definitely a lot more open to hug nowadays, I've noticed, which is really cool. But I think that's because there are more people in my life that I'm able to expose myself to the opportunity to get to the odd few that I am. That makes no sense, but it does make complete sense. Advice though, if you are approaching someone, well in fact anybody, you know, regardless if you're on the spectrum, make sure someone's alright with being hugged before you hug them. But then people on the spectrum, don't be afraid to experiment. Like, you may be alright with some people, you may get some people wrong, you will feel uncomfortable for a few minutes, but make sure that you're not putting yourself into an uncomfortable situation purposely. I'm sure people will understand if you just go, do change your mind. I know whenever I've spoken about hugging in the past, there's been some people in the comments that have been like, yeah, I love hugging everyone, as in people on the spectrum, and that's cool for you. Yeah, so if you have a hug list like me, or if you think there are factors that allow that, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear all about it. It's definitely such a concept that blows my mind, and it's been quite nice to talk about hugging in detail, I think. I don't know. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.